Jennette McCurdy, the former child star best known for her role on the popular Nickelodeon series iCarly, has opened up in a candid and revealing conversation about one of the most challenging and formative romantic experiences of her young life. At the age of 18, she entered into a relationship with a man who was significantly older, in his 30s, that she now describes as deeply toxic, exhausting, and even creepy in hindsight. This relationship, which began during a particularly vulnerable period, has since served as the direct inspiration for her debut novel, a fictional work that explores similar themes of age gap dynamics, power imbalances, and emotional manipulation. The two met through their professional environment on the set of the show, a place where McCurdy spent the vast majority of her time as a young actress immersed in long work hours with little opportunity for a normal social life. She explained that work was essentially her entire world, leaving no room for meeting people outside of that bubble. By the time the man started working on the production, she was most likely 18, though she admits there is some uncertainty about the exact timing and whether she might have been slightly younger when their interactions began. This ambiguity only adds to the discomfort she feels reflecting on it now. The man introduced her to various cultural interests, such as showing her films like Dazed and Confused or playing music he believed she would enjoy. In reality, she often didn't connect with these things but pretended to like them to maintain the connection and please him. This small act of pretense was an early sign of the dynamic that would unfold, one where she felt compelled to adapt herself to his tastes and expectations rather than expressing her authentic self. The relationship unfolded against the backdrop of immense personal hardship. McCurdy's mother was battling breast cancer at the time, a disease that would ultimately take her life 3 years later. This period was already filled with emotional turmoil, hospital visits, and the weight of caring for a dying parent. Complicating matters further was the fact that the older man was already in a long-term live-in relationship with another girlfriend. This created an immediate layer of secrecy and moral conflict, as McCurdy found herself involved with someone who was not fully available. She described the entire situation as exhausting and riddled with red flags. One particularly memorable incident involved the man showing up at her apartment drunk late one night. By this point, McCurdy had moved out of her family home and was navigating independence for the first time, but the intrusion felt overwhelming. Eventually, he ended things with his girlfriend and pushed to move in with McCurdy, despite her ongoing responsibilities caring for her hospitalized mother. The logistics became impossible. She couldn't imagine having both her dying mother, who would never approve of the relationship, and this secret boyfriend under the same roof simultaneously. Faced with this dilemma, the man frequently used phrases like, "You can't meet my needs," to pressure her. In response, the inexperienced McCurdy booked a hotel room near Universal Studios, seeing it as a simple solution and even hoping they might enjoy something fun like the Hogwarts ride at the theme park. Her naivety about such arrangements highlighted how out of her depth she felt. The sexual aspect of the relationship was particularly fraught. McCurdy had been a virgin when they met and had initially wanted to wait until marriage, influenced by her upbringing and personal values. However, the dynamic shifted, and she ended up participating in sexual activities before she felt truly ready. She recalled feeling confused afterward, struggling to process exactly what had happened and how to make sense of it. The older man often complimented her by emphasizing how smart and mature she was for her age, telling her he couldn't talk to anyone else the way he could with her. These affirmations made her feel special and valued at the time, but looking back, she recognizes them as manipulative tactics that exploited her youth and inexperience. The power imbalance was stark. The age gap of over a decade, combined with his professional position relative to hers and the fact that he had another partner, left her feeling powerless. She described the relationship as addictive in some ways, yet ultimately draining. After her mother's death in 2013, McCurdy finally ended things, labeling him a King loser in her reflections. She now looks at the idea of an adult in their 30s pursuing a teenager with horror, calling it outright creepy, and questioning how anyone could justify such a dynamic. This experience has lingered with her for years. In earlier interviews around her 2022 memoir, she alluded to redirecting feelings of love and attachment away from her mother toward someone else during this period, needing to process loss independently without becoming overly enmeshed. Speculation among fans has long pointed to a specific individual from the iCarly set as the person in question, though McCurdy has never publicly confirmed a name. After this chapter, she went on to other relationships, including a brief one with a fellow athlete shortly after her mother's passing and another with a co-star from a later project. But the older man relationship stands out as a pivotal, painful lesson in boundaries, consent, and recognizing unhealthy patterns early. Through writing her novel, she has found a way to channel that anger and gain closure, transforming a difficult personal history into creative expression. The story serves as a reminder of how young people, especially those in high-pressure environments like child stardom, can become vulnerable to exploitation, and how reflection years later can bring empowerment and perspective.